Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm showing off Genshin Tarot. This is a solo and cooperative deck builder, and it is based on the very popular Genshin Impact IP, which I've only played a very little bit of, just enough to be familiar with the world. And I'll have a review of this one coming in a week or two, but I wanted to show you what a true solo playthrough looks like. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also check out our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation on our Discord. So Genshin Tarot is, as I said, a deck builder, although it does a lot of things differently than normal deck builders, so I'll go over that in a second. But the basic idea is you have a starting deck made up of the cards of 4 characters from the Genshin Impact universe. You draw 5 and pick 4 of them. I went with these 4 that I'm sure some of you Genshin fans will be familiar with, but I don't think I know any of them. And each of them will give you cards for your deck, although you don't use all of the cards to start out. You get 24 and you pick 20 of them. The suggested start is to remove 1 of each character's elemental skill card, which is what I've done here, but you can kind of fine-tune your deck right from the start more if you like. And you'll have 5 cards in a turn, like most deck builders, but this is a deck builder more along the lines of, I don't know, like an Imperium or a Dominion or something, where you have a limited number of actions, so you can't play all the cards in your hand every turn. You have to kind of pick and choose. And what you're trying to do in the game is destroy all of the monsters in your little pyramid kind of shape here. As you kill some, you're going to reveal more, and they'll flip up, and you got to fight them all. Monsters will have an attack and potentially shield value. Shields meaning you can't hurt them until you get rid of the shields through elemental reactions. We'll see that in a second. They'll have little ongoing bonuses or one-time bonuses. A health value you have to deal that much damage to kill them, and how much Mora they give you, which is the resource you use to deck build and upgrade your deck. And it is upgrading, by the way. Each card in your deck has a better version that you can pay to upgrade into, so the original card goes away. You're not like adding random cards like most deck builders. The final 3 enemies at the top of your shape are royal enemies. They are a lot tougher. And once you defeat all of them, you get to confront the final boss. There are 3 in the game so far, and I'm playing against the easiest one because they are very tough, Dvalin the Storm Terror. And if you can beat the boss, you win. So you have to basically get through your whole set of enemies and then defeat the boss. But there is a round timer clicking down. It goes to 1 o'clock and then clicks around. If you get back to midnight, then you lose. But once you confront the boss, this flips over. You don't have to worry about time anymore. Then you just have to worry about the boss murdering you. And as this clicks down, you're going to be revealing these little ley line cards, and they'll have different special effects, some positive, some negative. And let's talk about a few more things for the player, and then we'll jump into it. You've got an HP, a hit point value. It starts at 12, and it'll click down. Some abilities will let you heal yourself, but if this ever reaches 0 for any character, you lose. So in solo, it's just you, but in co-op, it could be any of you. Also, your cards let you build up energy sometimes, and that can be spent to fire off the elemental burst abilities. You have 1 per character, again, the 4 that make up your deck. And if you spend the indicated amount of energy, you can do really, really powerful things. And then finally, some cards will give you guard. This will block enemy attacks because they attack after you finish your turn, but it goes away at the end of each turn, so you can't kind of keep it from round to round. And the final big thing to talk about are the elemental reactions. This is a big thing in Genshin Impact, a big thing in Genshin Tarot as well. So a lot of your cards will put element tokens on enemies. You can have, Hydro, Cryo, Geo, Electro, and 2 other ones that my characters don't create. These are the 4 that I make. And in Genshin Impact, things are a lot more complicated, but in this game, the first element you do does nothing, except for sometimes interacting with your cards. Like, it might be like, oh, if they already have Hydro applied to them, you deal extra damage or something. But the second one you put on, which has to be a different type, so I couldn't put another Hydro here, will cause an elemental reaction. Both of them will get removed. And then you'll see the type of the second one you placed, the one that actually triggered the reaction, and you'll always get some kind of bonus from it. So for the 4 that I'm doing, Geo will get me energy and guard to block damage. Electro will deal piercing damage and get me a little bit of energy. Hydro gets me a ton of energy, and Cryo destroys extra shields and gets me energy. Because while our small Dendro Slime does not have any shields, so I can just freely attack him, a lot of enemies will have 1, 2, or even 3 shields, and every time you trigger an elemental reaction, you get rid of 1 of those shields, or if Cryo was the second element applied, 2. And until all of those shields are gone, you cannot do any damage to them with any attack except a piercing attack. So they are just kind of unkillable until you take down their shields. All right, those are all the basics. Let's jump in and see how Genshin Tarot plays. All right, so my first enemy, as I said, is a small Dendro Slime. His passive is he takes 2 damage whenever Pyro is applied. I have no way to apply Pyro with my current character, so that's not going to matter at all. He's got 7 hearts, and he gives me 2 Mora, 2 of the resource for buying and upgrading cards when I defeat him. And he only has a 1 damage value, so any amount of guard will keep me safe from him. Once I defeat him, I'm going to have 2 more enemies to contend with, but let's get into this. So at the start of each turn, you progress the turn counter by 1. You reset your guard to 0 and your action points to 3, but those are already there. You do any start of turn effects, there aren't any. And then you reveal any ley line cards, which is indicated by a little card icon next to the hour. So you're going to start revealing 1 a turn in round 3, 4, and 5. You'll do 2 a turn around 6, 7, and 8, and 3 a turn in 9, 10, 11. And don't forget when you get to 12, you just lose immediately if you haven't reached the boss yet. But none of that really matters because we're just going to play some cards. And let's zoom in on them a bit and go through them. So first, in my starting hand, I have both of my cards for Fischl. She's my Electro character. And each character has what's called a normal attack and a skill that goes with their element. So her Bolts of Downfall, this is the number of action points it costs, which is most commonly 1. There are a few cards that cost 2 in like Bolts of Downfall, some that cost 0, so this I can just play for free on my turn. And it deals 1 piercing damage to 1 enemy in any player's zone. This is a really important thing to look out for cooperative play. Some cards will say only your zone, some will say any zone. Each player is dealing with their own zone of enemies, and when any of you get through your zone, the boss flips over and starts attacking all of you, but you can only hurt the boss once all your creatures are destroyed. So you do want to kind of try to help each other out and reach some sort of like equity and parity in the speed you're going through your decks. But yeah, and then I can spend 1 energy to first apply Electro to that enemy, which could, of course, do an elemental reaction. Then our other one, Knight Rider, does cost an action point. Apply Electro and then deal 1 damage to an enemy in your zone. So not quite as flexible as Bolts of Downfall, but pretty similar. And then keep this card face up. At the start of your next turn, apply Electro and then deal 1 damage to 1 enemy in your zone, then discard this card. So you get 2 for the price of 1 with Knight Rider. Frostgnaw is one of my 2 abilities for Kaya? Sorry, Genshin fans. So she is my Cryo person. And this is her skill. It applies cryo to every enemy in my zone, which clearly is going to be better when I have more, and then I gain 1 energy, which can be used again for those elemental burst abilities. And her basic attack is just dealing 3 damage to start out, so she's very straightforward. Okay, Jade Screen is the skill card for Ningguang, I guess, the Geo character I have. And Geo tends to be focused on guard, and this is a nice cooperative one. Give any one player 3 guard and 1 energy. The game is great co-op, by the way, but I didn't want to take on me running 2 hands and show it to you that way. And then finally, my Hydro character, Barbara, looking a little sinister here. Or I guess it says Shining Miracle. Maybe that's supposed to be a hopeful card. By the way, Hydro tends to be about energy generation and healing. And yep, apply Hydra to 1 enemy in your zone, and then restore 1 hit point to any 1 player. You may spend 2 energy to restore 3 hit points instead. So I'm definitely not going to kill the slime this round because I got very little attack power. I mostly got skills for getting energy and putting down elements. Oh, and I just realized it's very interesting that Ningguang's skill card does not apply Geo. So I hope that her attack does, or I'm really going to be kind of down to like just 3 elements instead of 4. But anyway, I'm going to play this first for my first action. So I get 3 guard and 1 energy. So now I cannot be hurt by the Dendro Slime's 1 attack. I am safe to just kind of mess around with him this turn. But I also want to build up even more energy. So let's do this. Okay, Knight Rider. Apply Electro and deal 1 damage to an enemy. I'm going to keep this to the side because I'll do it again at the start of my next turn. So he's getting electrified and taking 1 damage. The basic damage tokens have a 1 and a 2 side. You'll see 2 slashes there just to make sure that's clear. And you also have 5 and 10 on the other side tokens for later. And again, remember that Electro is doing nothing by itself, but the next element I apply will do an elemental reaction. And for my last action point, I'm going to play Let the Show Begin. I'm going to apply Hydro to an enemy in my zone. So that does trigger an elemental reaction. He has no shield, so that part doesn't matter at all. But because the second element was Hydro, I gained 3 more energy. Nice. And with that, I could afford 1 of my elemental bursts, which is Kaya's Glacial Wall to cost 3 energy. I get to draw 1 card, and if the card I drew is an action card, it costs no action points to play this turn. I'm not going to use that right now because I'm in a safe place with this slime, so I don't need to rush things. But if I'm lucky, it could give me a really strong card and be able to play it basically for free. And speaking of free, let's go ahead and deal 1 piercing damage to an enemy in my zone. And then I could spend 1 energy to first apply Electro to them. And then literally, yeah, every single element I can apply, its reaction gives me at least 1 energy, if not 2 or 3. So I feel like it makes sense to pay the energy and do that, because I'll probably get it back if I can do a reaction on that guy next turn. That takes me down to 3 energy. And then to end my turn, I discard any cards I have remaining, except for the Knight Rider that's hanging out for next turn. And then I draw another 5 cards. My deck starts out with 20 cards, just to kind of remind you. And we'll see what our new options are. We got a few cards we didn't draw last time next turn. But now we're going to go into the enemy phase. It's pretty simple. Enemies that are revealed attack from left to right. If I had more than 1, that's the order they would go in. So this guy's just attacking me for a single damage. But you always take damage to guard before hit points unless it's piercing damage. And then if I had any unobstructed enemies, I would have to flip them face up. Like if I had killed this, I'd have to flip both of those. They wouldn't attack you the turn they flip, but they do attack you the next turn. And just a strategic note, you can on your turn choose to flip people up early. Like if you have a ton of cards left and want to have somebody to damage with them, but it does mean that they'll attack you at the end of the turn. And you can pick and choose individually. So like if I had killed this guy during the turn and still had several cards left, I could just flip this guy, attack and do stuff to him for a little while. He would attack me, and then at the end of the enemy phase, this guy would flip up. So you do have some options with kind of how you confront your enemies that way. All right, and that's the end of round 1. So we go to round 2. Still no ley line cards, but next time we'll get our first one. And I regain my 3 starting actions. There are cards that let you get more if you're wondering why you have 4 and 5. And I lose any remaining guard I had, so I am back to 0 for that. Now resolve start of turn abilities. Oh, I'm so dumb. I apply Electro automatically with this card, and then I deal 1 enemy. So you know what? I'm just going to say that I'm a little bit smarter than I actually am, and get back the energy I spent from the previous turn to put Electro on it for no effect whatsoever. But the damage gets the Dendro Slime to 3 out of 7, so I should be able to kill him this turn, although 2 more is going to do basically nothing for me. Now let's look at my options again. There are only 8 cards to start your deck, 2 from each character, the attack and the skill. And then there's an upgraded version of each, so you're not like seeing a ton of cards, but they tend to have a lot of variety character to character. Okay, so I've got 2 Sparkling Scatters. These are my normal attacks for my Geo person. Oh, and yep, as I suspected they might, they apply Geo and then deal 1 piercing damage to 1 enemy in any player's zone. So I have a lot of good co-op cards. And then I get to draw a replacement card, although I still lose the action. Got another Bolts of Downfall. We already saw that. And then here's Barbara's attack and Kaya's attack. So Barbara's Whisper of Water, apply Hydro and deal 1 piercing damage to any player's zone and draw a card. So basically the same as Sparkling Scatter, except for Hydro. And then Ceremonial Blade Work, deal 3 damage to 1 enemy in your zone. Just a nice, straightforward, kick-your-butt card. And I love the upgraded version of Ceremonial Blade Work. It does 2 damage plus a 1d6 roll. So in my last game, I did 8 in one go. It was great. All right, so let's try to get some more energy so I can fire off some stronger elemental bursts. So first I'm going to do Whisper of Water. So that's 1 action. I'm going to do 1 damage to the slime. He's got 3 left. Do another Hydro elemental reaction, getting me 3 energy. And yeah, Hydro tends to be the I want energy element to go for, so I'm excited about this. And now I have enough to pay for any of my elemental bursts, so let's look at them for a second. So Officials, Midnight Phantasmagoria. Apply Electro and deal 2 piercing damage to all players in any player's zone. Wow, that could be pretty good once I have like 3 enemies at once. Glacial Waltz we already saw. That's one that lets you draw a card, and it could cost 0 actions. Star Shadow is my most expensive at 7. Deal 3 damage to 1 enemy in any player's zone. Deal 9 damage if it has Geo applied instead? Oh my god. That's a great ability. I like that. Okay, and then Barbara's Shining Me. Ooh. For 5 energy, restore 5 hit points divided across any number of players. Yeah, most of the characters do have a lot of nice cooperative options, but it works fine for solo too. Me healing myself 5 is clearly excellent if I get my butt kicked. All right, so I'm not going to use any of these anytime soon, although Star Shatter I definitely need to keep an eye out for when I get a big enemy and have a Geo to apply. All right, so for my next action, let's just go ahead and kill this guy, right? So I'll do a Ceremonial Blade Work to do 3 damage to an enemy, which finishes off my small Dendro Slime, and I get 2 more, which are these little coins here. And they also have 1 to represent 5. 5 kind of being the key number because that's how much it costs, and you can do this during your turn. To take any card currently in your hand, remove it from the game, and put in the upgraded version. You'll see that it has like a little star here. It says upgraded. It has a star next to its name. It's got a border. Lots of ways to tell which is which. Just to kind of show you how much better they get. So this one is Geo, 1 piercing damage, draw a card. This one is Geo and 2 piercing damage to 2 different enemies. You get rid of the draw a card, but really you don't care about it when you're doing 4 times the effect, or I guess not. Well, no, it is 4 times the effect, isn't it? It's 4 damage instead of 1 and double Geo, so that's pretty great upgrade. Now, there's another option for purchase that I don't use very often, but it's nice to have. I'd said that you remove 4 cards of your choice from your deck at the start of the game. I, again, just did the suggested one, which is 1 of each skill card. But these are still available to buy. They cost you 3 more. They get added to your hand as an additional card, but that does mean you're bulking up your deck, right? You're going from 20 cards to 21 or from 21 to 22. So I tend not to do this unless I desperately need to apply that element or get that guard or whatever it's giving me. Okay, so now I'm in an interesting place. I've got a way to deal piercing damage and apply Electro. I've got a way to apply Geo and also deal piercing damage. I could do both of them with my 1 action left since this is free. But I've got no enemies left, but since I can apply Geo and get a guard reaction going, I'm going to take a chance and flip 1 early. Oh, come on. Treasure Hoarder Gag is robbing my butt. On reveal, they steal my 2 Mora, the only Mora I have. I hate you guys. But let's see. They have a 2 attack, which I think my Geo reaction is going to fully block, so that'll be good. They've got no shields and 7 life. So they shouldn't be too hard to take down, and they will give me a full 5 more when I kill them, so I'll actually be able to upgrade something. So I could do the Geo first, and then the Electro. Electro does 2 piercing damage when you apply it, and then you gain 1 energy. But I think I'd rather have the guard. So I'm going to do Bolts of Downfall first, deal 1 piercing damage to an enemy, and then I'll spend an energy to apply Electro. But then I'm getting the energy right back, because I'm going to apply Geo and deal another piercing damage. And the piercing, remember, doesn't matter at all, because none of these guys have shields yet. But the Geo reaction gives me 2 energy and 2 guard. So in the wash, I'm going to gain 1 energy since I spent 1 here and gain 2 here. And like I said, I'll have the 2 guard to fully block them. Now, by the way, I could have applied Geo to them and then used Star Shatter and just murdered them straight up. But they're really not that dangerous, and sometimes it's hard to generate energy as fast as you might like. So I want to save that for when I have like a whole bunch of enemies coming after me. Okay, so that was both, or my last action. I didn't play my last Sparkling. Oh, I should have drawn a card. Okay, I can't afford it, so that let's get discarded too. Okay, and then the enemy phase. 2 attack that is fully blocked by my guard. I still haven't been hurt yet. But uh-oh. Who is this? 6 of Swords. Dendro Samachurl. On death, everyone takes 3 damage. Now, that damage can still be blocked by guards. When you have enemies like this, you want to make sure, and it's everybody, by the way, so this requires a lot of coordination between the players, like when I've played with my son with these kind of guys. You need to make sure everyone's got some guard up. Sometimes, again, enemies will deal piercing damage, which guard does not stop, but even these out-of-enemy phase abilities are blocked by guard. And still no shields. This is kind of wild that nobody I'm fighting has any shields, because I've been pretty good at generating elemental reactions, which would get rid of them, so I kind of wish they had more. All right, now here we go. Our first Leyline card, turns progressing to 3. My action points and guard refresh. I don't have any start of turn effects, so let's see what our first one does. Engulfing Storm. All players take 1 piercing damage. You'll see these are pretty swingy, which, can be fun or frustrating, depending on how you feel about such things. In that this gets shuffled back into the deck, and some of them are purely good for the players, some of them are purely bad. The majority of them, though, both help you and hurt you a little bit, as you'll see. But hey, it's my first damage. Uh-oh. But here we go with another turn, and at this point you've seen every card in my deck. Again, it's not that much to keep track of. So this time I got a lot of attacks, which is great since they don't have shields. So look, Ceremonial Blade Work, 2 of those will deal 6 damage. That's enough to kill the one guy or injure the other ones to the point of almost being dead. But I'm not sure if there's any way for me to not get hurt here. Because if I do 3, 6, and then one of my elements to do 7 to finish off the Treasure Hoarder gang, then I won't have any guard to block this guy for 2. If I finish him off instead with the 2 attacks, he's going to hit me for 3, plus the 2 I would need here, so I definitely wouldn't have enough guard. I could, of course, use some energy to deal with that. And here's the thing, a lot of the Leyline cards will reward you if you don't have much energy and punish if you save up too much, kind of like it's burning you out, which maybe means that I should use an ability this turn. So as an example of a pretty powerful combo, if I do Frost Gnaw, apply Cryo to all enemies in my zone for 1 action, I'll get an energy. Then if I spend 6 energy, so that's -5 overall, I'll apply Electro to each enemy in my zone and deal 2 piercing damage to each of them. And the Electro reaction is 2 piercing damage and 1 energy. So just to break that down for you, for 3 energy overall, I'll deal 4 piercing damage to each of them for a single action. You know what? Sounds pretty good to me. Okay, so again, a Frost Gnaw, 1 action, get frozen. That gets me an energy. I'm up to 9. I'm going to use Midnight Phantasmagoria. You can use these whenever you want, basically. They don't cost actions. They just cost energy. So as long as you have the energy to pay, you can keep using them. And again, that's doing 2 piercing damage to each of them. Plus, I'm going to trigger an Electro reaction, dealing 2 more piercing and earning back 2 of the energy I spent. All right, cool. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good place now. I could even kill both these guys, but... Number 1 concern with that, I have no guard, which means I would take 3 damage. Number 2 concern, I would reveal 3 new enemies. So finishing off 1 and then being ready to quickly finish off another one while only 1 is coming at me would only give me 2 a turn for the next several turns. It seems smarter. But crud, the problem is, if I just don't want to waste actions, every card I have is making me deal damage. So I can't even get Hydro on the enemy and then get Geo to get some guard, because I'll have killed them by the time that happens. But these at least let me draw cards. Is there any... I don't know if there's any way I can actually make anything good happen here. Okay, let's go ahead and do Whisper of Water and defeat the left guy, the one that doesn't hurt me for killing him. So I'm dealing 1 piercing damage. I do get 5 more to upgrade something. The applying Hydro part doesn't help at all. The draw 1 card also doesn't help because that's the same card. Although, interestingly, the upgraded Whisper of Water is just a healing card. Heal 2 to yourself and one other player. You may spend 3 energy to double this. Yeah, that's the sad thing about playing true solo. Like, some cards that are very good in co-op become a little bit weaker in solo, so I don't think I want that one. Sorry, I should only have 1 action. I don't think I'm going to upgrade anything this turn because I don't really need to. I mean, the only thing I could consider is upgrading my Ceremonial Bladework to do potentially 5 to 8 damage to an enemy on a good roll. And then I could flip this guy and take my chances, but if they have a shield, I got nothing to deal with it. And my Ceremonial Bladework becomes useless, so I'm not going to do that. And yeah, I just think I'm not going to attack that guy. So I'm just going to take the damage. So I discard, and I'm going through my deck for the first time, and I haven't upgraded anything yet, which is sad, because I would have loved to had something come back after I used it. Oh well. Going to the enemy phase, my friend here is going to hit me for 2, and then I'm going to reveal, what do we got? 9 of Swords, Geochanter. On reveal, all enemies everywhere with 0 shields gain 1 shield, and he's got 2 shields. Aren't you just fun to bring to parties? He's got 6 life, so he's not a slouch. Ooh, this is going to complicate my whole turn, isn't it? Although finally my piercing damage will be able to do something, which, yeah, actually that's good. I tend to have a ton of piercing damage, so probably the 1 shield here won't matter at all. All right, but I am down to 9. Unless I can get some guard, killing that guy is going to get me even lower. My actions back. And let's see what the ley line has for us today. Hopefully not completely a negative again. All enemies have their applied elements removed. Well, that was not bad. Usually that'd be terrible because it would take away half of the work you'd done. But in this case, none of them had anything yet anyway. And again, there are ones that are both positive and negative and ones that are just positive. They might come up eventually. We'll see. Okay, what did I get? And this is where things get more complicated because I can upgrade a card this turn. Okay, I've got Let the Show Begins that can apply Hydro and heal me. I've got the free 1 piercing damage. That seems great to kill my one friend over there. Ooh, I got Give Any Player 3 guard and 1 energy. That'll stop the 3 damage he's going to do when I kill him. And then Ceremonial Bladework is not great right now because everybody's got shields. Okay, so let's start with Jade Screen. And the upgraded version of that just gives you more energy and makes it affect another player. So that's another one that's kind of a dead card in solo. That's pretty rare. The fact that I'm getting a lot of those is just bad luck for this video, sorry. All right, so that's enough guard to cover his death rattle, and I got an energy. Now let's see, I'm looking at upgrades. Okay, Let the Show Begin, my healing 1. I could still put Hydra on 1 enemy. Oh, and then for this turn, all your normal attacks restore 1 hit point to any player after they resolve. That'd be a good one for a turn where I have especially a bunch of the Bolts of Downfall that are free normal attacks, but for now I don't think I need that. Speaking of Bolts of Downfall, if I upgrade this, it's still just 1 piercing damage, but if I've done an upgraded Knight Rider card, I do 3 piercing damage instead. And these, by the way, are mostly the same. They still do damage and Electro and then do it again later. But it's 2 each time instead of 1. And the nice thing about the combo here, as you can probably see, is that since the Knight Rider both affects the game the turn you play it and the turn after you play it, it gives you 2 turns to draw your upgraded Bolts of Downfall. But yeah, those are very combo dependent, so not sure I want to upgrade them. Ceremonial Bladework is amazing, but again, only if they have no shields. And like I said, both of the water ones are focused on other players, so I'm not getting its full effect by upgrading it. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to tank some damage from the new guy, but let me finish off the old guy at least. So I just need 1 piercing damage. So let's do this one. Apply Hydra and deal 1 piercing damage to an enemy in any player's zone and draw a card. So that's going to finish off these guys. They will trigger their 3 damage, but I'm getting 4 Mora. I get to draw a card. Let's see if it's something else I want to upgrade. Sparkling Scatter. Was that the one that was doing double damage to people? Apply Geo and then deal 2 piercing damage to 2 different enemies in any player's zone. That's great. Maybe not great in the situation I just found myself in, but it's definitely an awesome card. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Geo and Guard, I am down to 0 now, so the guy's about to do 2 damage to me. So, I am thinking, I could upgrade Sparkling Scatter, maybe flip over another enemy, and then I could apply Geo to both of them, and first I could play Bolts of Downfall for free, spend an energy to get an Electro, and then the Geo would turn into some guard for me. Well, you know what? I can do all of that without upgrading, without flipping another monster, potentially killing myself. So let's do this. I'll play Bolts of Downfall for no action, do 1 piercing damage, and I will spend 1 energy to get the Electro. And again, that was piercing. That seems to be a strength of my characters. Then for my last actual action, I'll play this, so I get a 2nd piercing damage. I do a Geo reaction, which is going to break their first shield. Give me 2 guard to block their attack, and 2 energy. God, I have a lot of energy. I might want to spend it before the ley line comes out. I want to get to draw a card. Knight Rider. Okay, not freeze. Right now I don't have any actions to play anything. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take my luck with the energy, because next turn there's a very good chance I can do a big combo in all 3 enemies, so let's try to make that happen. All right, so a lot of cards left, but they're all gone. I'm really hoping for the Frost Gnaw. I want to do that Cryo Electro combo maybe again. There's one. Maybe I'll even upgrade it. I forget what the upgraded Frost Gnaw looks like. And I got 2 more of the Sparkling Scatters. Cool. And enemy phase isn't too bad. He does 2 damage, canceled by my guard. But here's the big one. Small Electro Slime. Oh, they apply Electro to themselves. Nice of you. They're very weak. They don't give you much reward. And Giant Pyro Slime. Oh no, all players add 1 burn card to their discard. So my deck doesn't do this as much as others, but there are positive cards that get added to your deck and negative cards. Burn cards will deal damage when you draw them, and if you get a lot of burn, they deal even more damage. But then you can trash all of them if you play a Hydro or a Cryo. I'm pretty consistent for both those elements, so the chance that the turn I draw this won't immediately go away is pretty low. But yeah, okay, so very easy enemies. No shields on any of them. This should be a snap, I think. But hey, wacky things can happen with those Leyline cards, especially when you got a lot of energy built up. Icicle Blast. All players must trash every freeze card in their hand or discard pile. So that's a positive. Then take 1 piercing damage per card trashed. Okay, so this didn't affect me at all, but this is a better example of like the positive negative cards, which is most of the deck. Freeze cards, by the way, the other main negative one that gets added to your hand. While it's in your hand, you cannot gain or spend energy. You can, if you choose, spend an action point to trash all the freeze cards in your hand, which is often just going to be 1. Or you can just let it go back in your discard pile at the end of the turn and to come back to freeze you again later. So fun choices with these negative cards. And just to show you the positive cards, because I literally don't think I have any way to add them, dashes come from the air element reaction, and overheats come from the fire, the pyro element reaction, and I don't have either of those types of cards in my deck. But both of them, you can choose to play them to trash them. They cost no actions and draw 2 cards. You don't have to play them the turn you draw them. And then Dashes gives you an extra action point and draw 2 cards. Overheat gives you drawing 2 cards, and the next attack you do does +3 damage. And if it kills an enemy, you gain 2 energy. So it's kind of ridiculous. Both of these are great, but again, you're probably never going to see them in this play because that's just not what my deck is focusing on. But you know what I am focusing on? Killing some dudes. That's what we're focusing on. We're going to spend my first 5 Mora to upgrade Frostgnaw, so this is taken out of the game, into buffed Frostgnaw, so it still applies Cryo to everybody. It gains me 2 energy instead of 1, and it heals me 2. I definitely like that last part. And I'm going to immediately play this one, yeah. Oh, whoops, I have my actions back, but that costs 1 of them. So I'm getting 2 energy, I'm healing 2, almost back to full. Then I'm applying Cryo to everybody, which sadly is going to trigger a non-ideal reaction on this little slime guy. A Cryo reaction destroys an extra shield, which doesn't matter when they have no shields, and gains 2 energy. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to spend some energy. And I'm about to. Let's do our little Midnight Phantasmagoria ability for 6 again. Actually, you know what? Wait, hold on. Let's be smarter about this. So instead of putting the freeze on him, so what do you have? He had an Electro. Let's say that before I did Frostgnaw, I played Whisper of Water. That would have put Hydro on him and dealt 1 piercing damage. That would have caused a Hydro reaction, got me 3 energy, which would have put me right at 12, and I get to draw a replacement card. Bolts of Downfall, that's never bad. Okay, and then I do the Frostgnaw. Main difference being now he's got a Cryo. And then he'll get to feel the love of the Midnight Phantasmagoria. So same thing as last time, 3 Electro reactions, 2 piercing damage from the ability, 2 piercing damage from the reaction, 1 energy for each of them, so I get 3 energy back. This is the best it's probably ever going to be. So 4 piercing damage to this guy, kills him, 6 Mora. 4 more piercing damage to this guy, kills him. 2 more Mora, that's 8. And don't worry, Pyro Slime, we'll get to you in a second. He's got 4 piercing damage. And yeah, that gets me from 6 to 9 energy. I've got enough now to upgrade 2 different cards. That's pretty cool. And you know, with that, I think, yeah, we can reveal somebody, right? Don't mess me up, please. Oh, it's this little, what is he? Small Hydro Slime. I apply Hydro to myself. I appreciate that, buddy. You're really nice. Because yeah, what I was going to do is upgrade one of my Sparkling Scatters. So now it hits 2 enemies for 2 damage and still applies Geo. And then I think I'll go in and use it for my last action. I've still got the Bolts of Downfall. So you get a Geo and you get a Geo, but you're dead. And I get 3 more Mora. And he gets 2 piercing damage and the reaction. 2, there we go. And the Geo reaction is going to give me 2 energy and 2 guard. And what the hey, let's go ahead and put another piercing damage on there for free, even though I have no actions left. So he's 2 from death, not going to flip you yet. And I absolutely have a lot of energy if I wanted to, like, blast some people. But let's wait, because we're about to get to the royal enemies, and they're a lot tougher. I've got no actions left. I'm going to discard both of these. Not going to upgrade yet. I'm good. I'm almost through my deck again. I like those cards that draw me extra cards, because I'll get back to my better cards faster. Ooh, I have some Ceremonial Blade Works ready to upgrade if I can get somebody who doesn't have shields. Just smack a smack. Okay, sad little Hydra Slime. Does 1 damage when my guard stops. What you got? 10 of Swords. Cryo Whopper Flower. Oh, 2 shields. Passive. If I damage you, you must add 2 freeze cards to your discard. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you're not attacking me yet, buddy. But I gotta get through the shields or do 6 piercing damage. We'll see how that goes. All right, and now for some true chaos, we're getting 2 Leyline cards this turn. Number 1, Smoldering Flames. Oh, man. All players add 1 burn card to their discard. Ooh, then apply Pyro to all enemies with no elements applied. Nice. That'll give me a easier way to potentially kill this guy and start getting rid of his shields. In fact, ooh, a Cryo would get rid of both of them. But I've got another burn card. Hopefully they don't come out in the same turn, because that would be 2 cards I couldn't use in my hand and 3 damage instead of 1. Okay, and card number 2. All players gain 3 guard. Cool. And that's for next turn, because my guard already went down before this. I like that. So yeah, Leyline, potentially fun, potentially random. You got to see how you feel about it. But I definitely feel good about that. Thank you. And yeah, I feel like my first 2 actions of the turn are pretty much a given. Let's do a Frost Gnaw to cryo everybody in front of me. So that's going to trigger... Oh, wait. Hold on. I got way too much energy. I got to use it first. Give me a second. Because the Frost Gnaw itself would get me 1 energy, and then each of the cryo reactions would get me 2 more. I can't hold that much. What do I do with my energy? Okay, I got a different idea. Yeah. Here we go. I'm going to use Bolts of Downfall and deal 1 piercing damage to 1 enemy in any player zone. I'm not going to apply the Electro. Oh, wait, no. Yes, I am. Yes, I absolutely am, because he has 2 life left, not 1. So the Electro reaction, it'll cost me an energy to apply it, but it does 2 piercing damage and then gives me back an energy, so it's a wash energy-wise. But that gives me 3 damage total, so this guy is killed. 2 more Mora. And now, so I can hopefully justify using some insane elemental burst power, let's flip our first royal card. Queen of Pentacles. 9 health, which is basically 0 health. Oh my gosh, is this going to work out? Star Shatter? Are you going to do it? So 9 health, 7 Mora, 3 attacks, 0 shields. Oh, I'm feeling it. I cannot be applied with Electro. I regain all my health at the start of each player's phase. Oh, that would be so sad for me if I didn't just blast you out of existence, wouldn't it? Oh, but no. Oh, no. I have no way to apply Geo in my hand. No. I already drew all my Sparkling Scatters. My Jade Screen doesn't even apply Geo. See, normally if you're thinking, you'll put specific cards out of your deck, and it's good to have all of your elements available. But Jade Screen is the one elemental skill I've seen that doesn't apply its element. The attack does. It probably would have made more sense to take a Sparkling Scatter out of my deck, because I could play 3 more to get this to my hand right now, but it doesn't apply Geo. Darn, there's no way for me to get my Star Shatter awesomeness. Now, it should still be okay. I mean, I've already got the guard for the other guys. If I can just kill this dude. If I upgrade Ceremonial Blade Work, I can actually upgrade both of them if I need to. Okay, so let's do this instead. I'm going to spend 5 Mora. I'm going to change my basic Ceremonial Blade Work into Ceremonial Kicky in the Teeth. Normally does 3 damage. Now I'm doing 2 plus 1d6. I mean, I guess I could roll a 1 and be the same. Hopefully not. By the way, the dice, I was confused at first when I got them. They have, you can probably see them better than I could, pips. So this is a 2. That's the 6 I want. That's a 4. That's a 3. But they also sometimes will be called for to roll a specific element. All right, so yes. Here we go. Attacking the 9 health guy that heals fully if I don't kill him. Give me a big roll, baby. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a 5 plus 2, 7 damage. You are so dead. Like I said, Ceremonial Blade Work, totally useless when they have shields. Amazing when they don't. And let's do it again. I'm not going to upgrade this one. For my second action of the turn, I will do Ceremonial Blade Work and do 3 damage to 1 enemy in my zone. So finish this guy off without needing any Geo shenanigans, and I get 7 more. Wow. All right, then I've got 1 action left. I still want to play the Frost Gnaw to take out that guy's shield. But it'll get me 1 energy for itself and 2 more for a reaction, so I'll have too much energy. So let's do something a little bit more crapshooty and spend 3 energy to do Glacial Waltz. I'll draw a card, and if it's an action card, it costs 0 points. All my burns are still in my discard, so I should only get action cards. That's what it would affect. So it should become free, whatever it is. Now, will it be useful? That's anyone's guess, but let's see. So what was that? It was 3 energy, and what am I getting? All right. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm cool with that. So I don't have to play it right away. So first for my last action point, I'm going to play Frost Gnaw. The Cryo reaction breaks an extra shield, so he's fully unshielded, and gets me 2 energy, and Frost Gnaw gets me 1, so I get the 3 back. I'm back to 11. And then for free, because of the elemental burst I use, I'm going to use Knight Rider. Me and Kit are going to be having a good time going all over this Cryo Whopper Flower. I'll apply Electro. The second Electro is going to be useless, and do 1 damage to this guy, and then I'll get another damage, and like I said, a useless Electro in just a moment. Man, that was a good turn. He attacks me for 2. I gotta say, this is a different game, true solo, when everything's going your way, everything's coming up Mike. Because I've been playing with my son, and I've been having to like defend him against guys, and he's been having to defend me against guys when things go badly. So me just being able to wail on people, a lot of fun. I probably should have gone for a harder boss, because yeah, this is going pretty well for me. Okay, and we go to the next turn. Still 2 ley lines for the next 2 rounds. But before I reveal them, I'm going to resolve Knight Rider. I just do the 1 damage. An extra Electro won't work. Oh, whoops. Actually, this worked out great. I forgot to draw cards at the end of my turn. I drew a Pyro, which deals 1 damage if I draw the card. But remember, I had 3 guard, and the enemy only did 2, so I actually didn't take damage from the Pyro. That is a pretty rare thing for me. Okay, now that all is right with the world, let's flip these. Condensed Ice. I get a freeze card to my discard, and then that guy gets a oh no, it's only enemies with no elements applied. So since he has the Electro, I don't get any benefit from this. But I do get another freeze. All right, and then high energy cores. Oh, I guess there's some other things that are good to have energy. Players with 5 or more energy restore 1 hit point. And why, yes, I don't mind if I do. Thank you. And now I have a ton of stuff to upgrade with. I have a ton of energy. If I can do a Hydro, oh my gosh, I got 3 ways to do Hydro. I'll get rid of the burn card, like it'll be trash from my deck, so I don't want to let it stick around. And our friend over there only has 4 life left, so... But I can't reveal anybody until I kill him. The fact that I don't have very much actual, like, attack, it's kind of a bummer. Because Whisper of Water only upgrades into healing. Let the show begin. That's one that lets all my normal attacks heal. I don't need to heal. I'm doing too well. The Sparkling Scatter I'd love to upgrade, but I'd be wasting it if I'm only hitting 1 guy with it. You know what? I got so much energy. Let's spend 3 and do Glacial Waltz. I'm going to draw a card, and it costs 0 action points. Ooh, that's my upgraded one. Okay, so I'm still going to be kind of wasting it, but at least I'll be doing 2 damage for free action-wise. So yeah, let's go ahead and play this. Well, or should I wait until... I don't really have another good way to kill the guy. All right, it's kind of a total waste, but I'll get some energy back. This is pretty dumb. I'm going to do Star Shatter and do 3 damage to the guy. Well, okay, hold on. Let's see if I can draw something first. Okay, so I'm going to do Whisper of Water. That's my first actual action, although my upgraded Sparkling Scatter is still a free action. I'm going to put Hydro on them, which will get me 3 energy. I'm up to 11 again. And then I do 1 damage to him, and I get to draw a card. That's really the part that I cared about. Darn it! Stupid water girl. Yeah, see, again, you can take out 4 cards when you build your deck. I certainly would have taken out almost all of her water stuff because it's so focused on multiplayer. But you live, you learn. You know what? I don't care. I want to kill him. I'm going to spend 7 energy. It's such a waste. To do 3 damage and finish him off. 3 because he didn't have any Geo applied. And I get 5 more Mora. And then, let's see, number 1. Oh, I can't be applied with Geo. And I regain all my shields at the start of each player phase. I was just about to Geo you, dude. All right, whatever. Number 2. All players shuffle 2 burn cards into their decks. Oh, my gosh. So it's going to come sooner. That's not great. That's right. He regains all his shields. So I just want to pierce damage him as much as possible. And I probably want some guard, too. All right, so to that end... I'm going to do for my second action, Whisper of Water. I apply a Hydro to somebody and deal 1 piercing damage to them, and then I draw a card. I'm going to put it on him, and do the piercing damage to him. I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing to do. And, geez, I drew another water card. Literally, I've gotten, I think, every water girl card in my deck. Here's my free one. Oh, that's right. My burn is trashed. Yay for water. But yeah, it's annoying. Okay. I didn't really want to do it this way, but whatever. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do Whisper of Water on the other guy. That's for my last regular action. It puts a Hydro on him. It does a piercing damage. That's kind of the important part. And I do draw another card. Nope, not going to use you. Oh, man, that was my upgraded one. Well, whatever. Okay, then I'm going to do this. That's a free action, remember, because that's the one that I drew with my Glacial Waltz ability. So I'm putting a Geo on. Oh, that's right. He can't be applied with Geo. What are you doing, Mike? Well, it's fine. I'm still doing 2 piercing damage to him and to his buddy. Then I'm putting Geo on this one, which gets me 2 guard. It's not quite enough to survive them all. And I'll get 2 energy. That part's fine. Yeah, geez. I don't want to upgrade it. Well, I guess I could upgrade the Geo one. But it still won't affect the other guy. Yeah, whatever. It's still a good card to have. So I'll go ahead and upgrade this. Oh, wait. I can't play it this turn. What am I talking about? No, I'm done. I'm discarding all these. Getting my butt kicked. They're doing 5 damage. I've only got 2 guard. And then all these burns are going to come too. Yeah, let's check that now. Oh, I didn't get any burns yet. Yay. And I got one of my upgraded Ceremonial Blade Works. Yes. All right, not sure I'll be able to kill these guys this turn. Let's see how it goes. Energy Tides. Players with 5 or more energy, that's me, discard 2. Darn it. I knew I shouldn't have kept all that energy. And then Condensed Ice again? No! At least it does apply Cryo to the one guy. Although he's the one that doesn't need it, but that is another. My deck is just getting full of crud. Right when I fight the boss, it's going to show up. I just know it. Let's see. What do I want to do? I could do the Geo to trigger a reaction, almost kill the one guy, but it wouldn't even affect the other guy. I could do Knight Rider on the guy with the shields. That would trigger a reaction to do 2 more piercing damage, which would get him down to... Oh, and it does 1 piercing damage itself. So that would get him down to 2 life left. And then do I have a... Oh, yeah, if I upgraded this... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Knight Rider. I want to upgrade this. Yeah, I've got enough. Whatever, I'm going to do it. Maybe I'll upgrade my Bolts card. Okay, so I'm going to use Knight Rider to apply Electro to somebody and do 2 piercing damage, and then next turn, on the boss theoretically, I will apply to Electro and 2 damage again. So the Electro is going on him, which triggers a reaction, getting me 1 energy, and it's 2 piercing from the reaction, 2 from the card, that's 4. So he's got a single point of life left, excellent. Okay, then I'm going to upgrade Sparkling Scatter again, another copy of it for 5 more, still got enough to upgrade 1 more card, although I'm about to get more money. That's my second action, but I'm killing this guy because it's 2 piercing damage, even though he's immune to the Geo. Never cared about your shields at all, buddy. And I'm doing 2 to him, which leaves him with 5 left. And I do trigger a Geo reaction. It's going to give me 2 more energy and 2 guard for him or the boss. Oh, and I didn't get the 7 Mora from killing that one guy. Now, here's a sort of weird question. Do I kill this guy right now? Because the boss flips immediately. Or do I just suffer through 3 of those Leyline cards next turn? This will kill the guy automatically, and I'll have all my actions just to wail on the boss. Oh, but then I want to have my Ceremonial Blade works. But I don't have the actions to use them anyway right now. Darn it. But yeah, I think I'm going to... I love doing this. I'm going to play Jade Screen to get 3 guard and 1 energy. That'll be enough to fully block the guy. And also block some damage from burns I might draw. And we'll go from there and just try to upgrade our butts off when the boss comes out next turn. First I draw 5 cards, which again could be bad. Probably will be bad. Just 1 burn. Okay, so that's 1 guard down. We're still going to be good enough for the enemy. Remember, if I'd drawn more burns, each of them would have been 2 damage. And here our last guy is dealing 3, but we block it all. Then we go to our first 3 Leyline turn. See how this goes. Number 1, Wind Current. Players with 7 or less hit points add a dash card. I'm at 9 hit points. Nothing. Plasma Field. All players with no energy gain 3 energy. I'm at 8 energy. Nothing. I'm glad they're not hurting me, though. Smoldering Flames. All players add a burn card to their discard. Stop giving me the burns. But then, put Pyro on all enemies without it. Okay. Oh, wait. Whoa. Hold on a second. Because start of turn happens before Leyline. So he would have taken the 2 damage and died. I would get the 7 Mora. So let's meet Mr. Bossy. All right, so he is Dvalin, the Storm Terror. He's got 20 hit points in single player and 3 shields. That's awesome. And then he has special rules down here, but this guy's by far the simplest. The other ones have like multiple lives and stuff. So he's immune to a Nemo, which I don't have. That's the air one, I think. And at the start of the player phase, all players must discard 2 action cards or lose 1 action point. Oh, that's annoying. Now, it's not random, so I can pick, but yeah, okay, I will have to do that. Because we're still in the start of player phase part of the turn. That's what the Knight Rider card that killed the other guy was. Okay, and then we're going to roll a die for his activation during the enemy phase. Looks like we'll always take 4 damage, but sometimes it's piercing. He'll get a shield back sometimes. He'll heal himself sometimes. And if we had a dash card, which we certainly don't, we could prevent the piercing damage. But I think we'll be okay. This guy should go down, hopefully, pretty quickly. Well, or then again, maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. I have to discard 2 cards. Oh, and they're action cards, so I can't discard the burn. You suck. I don't know if I need the Jade Screen. Let's discard that. And then, as much as I love Ceremonial Blade Work, I don't think I'm going to break through his shields this turn, so it won't matter. So, crud, I have no action points? What the heck? Okay, we'll try to use some energy to do something about this. But it's taking a chance. I know there's bad cards in my deck. But yeah, I'm going to use Glacial Waltz for 3 energy. The one that lets you draw a card and it becomes 0 action points to play it. Come on, give me like a draw a card ability. Oh, gosh. So it is not the second or later burn card I've drawn this turn because I drew at the end of the last turn. So I just take... Oh, no, I don't have any guard left. I take 1 damage. Okay, let's do that again because now I really want to get a Hydro or something. No! Come on! It's not great. It's not great. Oh, wait. That's right. I can spend more to get things into my hand. And yeah, I have the action points to spend them. Let's do this. Okay, so now I got a plan. I'm going to spend 3 Mora to get the Let the Show Begin from out of my deck. Card that I was making fun of earlier, but now suddenly it's my salvation. I'm going to spend 1 to... Wait, what's this one I wanted to do? Sure, I'll spend 1 to play Let the Show Begin. Apply Hydro to an enemy in my zone, and restore 1 hit point to a player. I don't want to spend the energy yet. So Dvalin, the Storm Terror, is now wet. But then for a free action, I'm going to play Bolts of Downfall, deal 1 piercing damage to him. And I can spend 1 energy to apply Electro first. I've got 2 energy left. I healed to 9, by the way, so yeah, let's do it. And so the Electro will trigger an Electro reaction. That'll get rid of one of his shields, do 2 piercing damage, and get me my energy back. Do not count me out, Dragon. Now I'm going to spend 3 more Mora to get the Frost Gnaw I took out of the deck. Oh, by the way, bye-bye Burns. I played a water card, but the Cryo would have also worked. Yeah, now I'll play Frost Gnaw. No. First I want to do another Bolt of Downfall, spend another energy, so I'm back to 1. So that's a piercing damage and an Electro. And then, second actual action, Frost Gnaw, apply Cryo, breaking both shields. And it's a Cryo reaction, so I'll get 1 energy from this and 2 more from the reaction, so 3 energy. And then, because I have more to burn, I'm going to spend 5 to upgrade this to Upgraded Bolts of Downfall, which does 3 piercing damage instead for no actions if a Knight Rider Plus card went off, which it did at the beginning of the turn. Remember? That killed the first guy, so it still counts. The piercing part doesn't matter as much, but I guess I can, hold on, let's make some change. 7 out of 20 damage, and all his shields are gone. I'm feeling good about that with such a cruddy start to the turn. I got 4 energy left. Should I use Glacial Waltz? No, I know there's like a lot of burn cards coming. Let me not. All right, so enemy attack. Honestly, my favorite would be a 5 through 6, even though I don't have any guard to be ignored. I'd rather just take the 4 damage. Nope, that's a 1. So take 4 damage, he gets 1 shield back. I think healing 5 would have been worse than that, so that's okay. But I'm down to 5. Although I can, if I want, if I get 1 more energy, use Shining Miracle to heal 5. So not too frightened. Oh, I didn't draw my cards. Crud, there is a burn. Let's see if I get another one. Nope. Although I don't love the stuff I got. So yeah, the burn knocks me down to 4. And yeah, I just remembered that I had 2 options. What was it? I can either spend an action point or discard 2 cards. I think this time the action point makes more sense. And yeah, I do want to heal myself because I'll die if I take an attack now. So I'm going to do... He's only got 1 shield, right? I'm going to do Bolts of Downfall for free, do 1 piercing damage to him, and spend an energy to apply Electro. That doesn't cost an action, but it does bring down to 3 energy. That'll be okay. See, I'm doing 1 piercing damage and Electro. Then for my first actual action, I'm going to do Whisper of Water. So I apply Hydro. That'll get his shield gone again, and 3 energy back. I'll be at 6. And I do another piercing damage to him. He's at 9. Ooh, and I draw a card. I like that. Except it's friggin' water. I can heal myself. Oh, and sorry, didn't I? Yeah, I played a water, so this burn is gone. My freezes, though, still haven't come. I think I have like 3 of them waiting. You know what the hey? I guess I will play Let the Show Begin. So I'm going to apply Hydra to him in case he gets his shield back again. And then I can restore 1 hit point to 1 player. Or I can spend 2 energy to make it more. I think I'll just restore 1, but then I'm going to, just in case I get like a burn and he attacks, I'm going to spend 5 energy to use my Shining Miracle and go back to 10. Able to survive for quite a while then. And discard the rest of these. Yo! Do y'all hear the pain coming? Even if he gets a shield, I don't care. I'm going to Geo, Blady, his face in. It's going to be great. I mean, maybe not all of that, because I don't have that many actions. Okay, what do you got, buddy? 1 again. He gets a shield. I can get rid of that. Again, I like that better than healing, and I take 4 more damage, which is way less scary after Barbara gives you a Shining Miracle. Okay, now I got to discard 2 cards. I can do that. The best damage is going to be that if I upgrade it. So let's get rid of one of my upgraded Sparkling Scatters and my Knight Rider. And all right, let's do this. We're going to do Sparkling Scatters first to get rid of the 1 shield. So I'm going to do Geo and 2 piercing damage. So that cracks his shield away. We'll do the Geo in a second. 2 piercing. So he's at 9, so he should be at 11. So there we go. And he's got 9 health left. And the Geo reaction is going to get me 2 guard, 2 energy. But here's what we really care about. Spend the more. Let's upgrade this. There we go. All right, 2 actions. Double blade work. So that's 2d6 plus 2 each time. Or sorry, no, I said that wrong. 1d6 plus 2. So first, sword. Attack. No, that wasn't great. What is that? 3 plus 3, 6. Well, never mind. It's still enough. So that's boom. And I think this is it. Unless I roll a 1. Yeah, that's another 7 damage. You are super dead. Now, again, that was by far the easiest boss. The other ones have multiple forms, are immune to like different elements, do other tricky things, mess with you in more ways. But yeah, this is the first time that I've done well enough that I think I could have taken on one of the harder bosses. So that's pretty cool. And clearly you can probably see this would have played out very differently in multiplayer. I could have been helping people out. I would have been upgrading my cards differently. And again, at the start of the game, I probably would have taken out different cards, knowing that they are better for multiplayer play. But that is Genshin Tarot. Again, I'll have a review probably in another week or 2. I want to play this a few more times. I've played it 5 or 6 times now. But thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.